Yo, 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 what's happening, people? And welcome back to Neeks Sports. This is your match preview for Arsenal versus Benfica. We are live in the cut. We are live in the cut. This is not a dress rehearsal. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to get into predicted 11s. We're going to get into transfer predictions. We're going to get into, sorry, not transfer predictions, score predictions, and we're going to get into how Mikel is going to treat tonight. Is he going to treat tonight as a must-win game, or is he going to treat tonight as a potential overlook? We'll have a look. We'll have a look. We'll get into it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about the game, what you think he should do. Get in the chat, get in the comments, and let me know. Let's get into it. Yo, what's happening, people? We are live in the cut. We are live. This is not a dress rehearsal. We're in. We're ready. We're dealing with it. It's Arsenal versus Benfica. Arsenal are at home against Benfica. Home is where the heart is. The heart is in Athens tonight. It's in Athens because obviously due to this coronavirus pandemic, Arsenal cannot play at home. It's probably more due to the fact that England aren't accepting flights from Portugal due to the new strand of the coronavirus over there, which came from Brazil. It's now in Portugal. Anyway, so yeah, England are refusing to allow flights in from Portugal. So the match is now being moved to a safe Athens location where Arsenal will encounter with Portuguese players and then come back home. Anyway, it is what it is. We're live. We're in the car. Shane's in the car. He says, "Come on, Benfica." Of course, a Man United fan can see the tension in his in his brain, thinking that you don't want you don't want to get Arsenal in the next round of the Europa League, considering the results you've had against them in the past couple of seasons. I hear that. I hear that a lot. Big up everyone that's in. And yeah, we'll get straight into it, man. Big game, massive game. Arguably, probably biggest game of the season has come already, and we're on the 25th of February 2021, and Arsenal are playing the biggest game of the season. Now, our biggest game of the season last year was obviously in the FA Cup final, where we scraped the Europa League place by beating Chelsea in the final. And our biggest game of the season so far, of course, is here tonight at the Athens. And the reason why it's so big, as I'm sure you all know, is we got the 1-1 draw last week. Now, 1-1 draw in Europa League can be okay if it's away from home. Get an away goal, you think, okay, go back home and win it. But when you're not playing at home, you don't have the home fans, you don't have the home comforts, the home pitch. You have to obviously travel, so it feels a bit like an away game anyway. 1-1's not always doesn't feel as secure as it normally would. 1-1 feels a bit like we've missed the trick. And then you look at the actual game, and the three Aubameyang should have had a hat trick in that game. Three big chances he missed to keep us 3-4-1 up. We could have been how Man United are feeling tonight. We could have been how Spurs were feeling last night. But no, we didn't take our chances. We even conceded the first goal, and then rescued a point in the end. Rescued a point. So Arteta knows that this is a massive, massive game. It's going to be an interesting game tonight. Um, Shane says, I think in the last 30 minutes, and it's still 0-0, Benfica will grow in confidence. This is the thing. This is the thing. This is why we got to go out and score early. If we leave it late and we wait till the last few minutes of the game, it could be a tight one, and it could be Benfica looking to steal a march in Arsenal towards the end of the game. NB's in the cut, and he says we need to go after Benfica from minute one until the last. We want the players to go into the match with the right mentality, and when you consider it's our last chance of silverware. Another great point as well. This is our last chance of silverware. Listen, we're at the FA Cup, we're at the League Cup, we've been at the Premier League race since arguably game week 1. And so yeah, if we want to win something this season, it's got to be here, and it's a long way to go. We're not even in the last 16 yet; we're in the last 32. So we've got a 16, we've got the quarters, we've got the semi and the final. So there's a load of games to come, home and away, of course. So there's no easy run. You can't say it's an easy run, but I mean you've got to get through one game at a time. And at the moment, there's no guarantees we're going through. No guarantees at all. Obviously, you're looking to hear that Europa League song. It's been a little week since I heard that. Yeah, it's a tune. I'm used to it now. I'm being used to it. I know you Man United fans have been hearing different songs over the years. We ain't. We've been hearing the same song for the past 3, 4 years or whatever it is now. So yeah, I'm just comfortably used to Europa League song. But listen, I might not be comfortable anymore because if we don't win tonight, arguably we won't be hearing any songs on a Thursday night. We'll be sitting at home watching Emmerdale. And to be fair, if we had played bad tonight and go out, might not be mad at watching Emmerdale after all. Might not be mad at all. NB says he missed. Plus, he missed the chances in the league. The first leg. Plus, missed chance in the league in the first leg brings back the Olympiacos nightmares. Oh yeah, of course. Last year, of course, we lost at this stage to Olympiacos having a lead. So it ain't easy. It ain't easy as we've seen under Arteta to go through these games. We struggled last year. I mean, we just about got through. Just about got through. Yeah. I got you in the end. I got you, MB, in the end. Jan's about. She says an Otamendi hat trick is incoming. Listen, Jan's a Man City fan. So interesting to see her ex players do well. I mean, I wouldn't put a penny on it at all for Otamendi scoring a goal, let alone a hat trick. I mean, we made Otamendi look good last week by playing so bad. Not playing so bad, but not taking away our chances. Aubameyang had the run on him at least 3 times and just didn't put it in the back of the net. So we cannot let Otamendi look in anywhere near how we did last week, and we cannot let Vertonghen as well, obviously former Spurs player, in their squad as well. Um, no disrespect, Shane says, but even if we go through to the next round, I still think it's very unlikely for you to win the competition. It is. It's unlikely. There's no doubt about it. I'm not saying that we're the favourites, anywhere near it. But in the cup competition, you never know. We've seen shocks in the competition before. Maybe not in terms of winners. You could argue Sevilla maybe once or twice haven't been the favourites and won the competition. But in a cup competition, these things can happen. Obviously, we weren't nowhere near the favourites to win the FA Cup last year. In the last four, it was Man United, Man City, and Chelsea. We were probably four favourites, and we ended up doing it. So there's no guarantees that we're gonna win the competition after this. But you got to get through it one stage at a time, innit? You've got to go through one stage at a time. And Mrs. Thoughts on the potential takeover? Yeah, I've heard about this. Is it Dagnotti, I think his name is. Dangotti, something like that. Yeah, I've heard about it. But listen, my stance is I know Kroenke and he ain't selling this club. He ain't selling this club. He's making so much money, even though we are in the Europa League. He's making money and he's just sitting here laughing at us. Every single week he's laughing at us. He's just so happy to see that we're in a position making him money and he doesn't have to do nothing. He doesn't have to spend money. But does he know? Someone told him that we're in 11th place in the league? Someone rang him up and said, "Yo, Stan, we're 11th. Sort us out." I guess not. So yeah, I doubt that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Bit of banter between MB and Shane. I hope. Yeah, I mean, listen, United. There's no guarantees United are through at all. Sorry, they're through. There's no guarantees United will win the competition. They're through. Yeah, cool. We'll see what happens in the next round. You might get drawn. Can you draw English sides in the next round of the competition? Can English meet the English? Because that'll be interesting. Yeah, I've just seen there's no ceilings and no restrictions on any side from any nation facing each other. So we could see a Spurs Man United, a Leicester Man United, a Rangers Man United. Who knows? It's an open draw next round, so could get very tasty. Could get tasty at all. Yeah, City have this. Their Arsenal. Listen, we played City last week, and Jan will know we did all right. I mean, yeah, if you take away the first 2 minutes of the game when we played bad, we conceded a goal. But we held them up. We just were poor in front of goal. And we need to be better today. We need to make sure that we take our chances. If we were anything like how we were in front of goal today or going forward today against Benfica, then we've got absolutely no chance. Yeah, I agree. Man United are definitely one of the favourites, but Ollie's a semi-final kind of guy. So we'll see if Ollie's really got the mentality to take Man United over the line into a final and then win a trophy. I mean, my manager has. So that's all I'm saying. I know my manager has. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Stay humble. Stay humble indeed. Um, Gal's in the building. He says it's the biggest game of the season. You're not wrong at all. Not wrong at all, Gal. This is a huge. I mentioned it yesterday in the press conference. No dilly, no dally. It's the biggest game of the season, and you got to win. We've got to go out and win the game. Obviously, a nil-nil draw is good enough to go through, but do I want a nil-nil draw? Hell no. I want to go and score goals and go through, man. Come on, just give me a good performance, please. I mean, the one thing is that we've been unbeaten in the Europa League all season, but we've played some absolute dreadful teams, no offense, but we battered them all because they ain't good enough. And we've now hit a bit of competition and we're starting to struggle. We're starting to struggle. Gal's on the belief that the club's going to be sold. Listen, I've heard it all before, Gal, man. I heard it all before with the Usmanov stuff before, got my hopes up and got let down. So I am not saying that Conke is selling his club at all. I'm not going to put it out there until I see the pen hit the paper and the dotted line get signed. I ain't taking my chances on that. We'll see what happens. Do I want it to happen? Yeah. Listen, I'm happy to get the club out of Cronke's hands, but the person who takes over needs to be in for a real, needs to dig his hand in his pocket and help us out because this ain't no botch job, but you come in and just do a little bit, spend a bit of money and hide behind your finances. You got to come and really show that you want to be taking us to the next level or back to the level that we were at before, winning league titles. Yeah, I said that already. You might reach a semi-final at best. You might reach a semi-final at best. Yeah, AC Milan, they're about in the Europa League. Had a decent season this year, challenging for the title. But maybe their eyes are on other things. Maybe their eyes are on the title. I've never been super impressed with them before this year, so we'll wait and see when they get a real test in the Champions League. You know, when they stepped up against Inter the other day, Lukaku said, "This is my show. This is my thing, and I'm running it." So if he can do it, I'm sure others can as well. Um, Back on the Kroenke situation, MB says Kroenke's held us back for far too long. The quicker he goes, the better for us. But it won't be overnight success. If Dan got his takeover, if Dan Gotti takes over, it will take time, and I'm hoping that it happens. Yeah, it will take a lot of time, and we have to be patient. If it happens, we can't be like first transfer window, Dan Gotti out, get him out. He ain't done nothing. We got to give him time. And the same thing with mentioned like Arteta. If you those of you who missed it last week, me and the gal had a good chat with my boy Charmer just about Arteta and him taking over and him going forward. And I think time is what the man needs. I'm still excited about the potential process that he could bring to the club. I know Lacazette is, those of you that have seen the boots earlier on today, Lacazette's trusting the process. So, yeah, man, let's trust the process and see what happens, man. Let's see what happens in the ride for both Dangote and Arteta. Um, Wilson's in the building. Thank you. What's happening, Wilson? Good to see you. Good to see you in the cut. MB saying, I'm hearing that some of the fan base say Laka over Orba for the second leg. Agree or disagree? We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to come up with my predicted 11. So stay tuned, get through some of these comments, and then we'll go through the predicted 11 of who I think is going to start. But to answer the question on Lacazette, it'll be a big risk if he starts Lacazette tonight. I know he ain't started for the past 3 games, and he's been good before that. But if he plays him ahead of Aubameyang, be a massive risk, and I'm not quite sure Arteta's really want to be taking risks at this stage of the competition. Shane says he hopes Louise will help his old team. Looking forward to. Oh yeah, David Luiz used to play for Benfica, didn't he? How long ago was that? Been a while. Actually, completely forgot about that. He came from Benfica to Chelsea, right? Yeah, 2007 to 2011. Damn, yeah, spent a bit of time out there. Obviously can speak Portuguese, so that was calm for him there. Yeah, well, I'm hoping he does the opposite. I'm hoping David Luiz heads us into the last 16, heads into the last 16. As Wilson says, huge game tonight. As you mentioned earlier, it's massive. It's absolutely massive. No Sevilla in the tie in the Europa League. Good. Hopefully, keep them where they are in the Champions League forever. How long they want to be in there? I'm cool with that. Wilson's dropped the lineup that he wants in there. So you've got Leno, Cedric, Luis, Gabriel Tini, Partey, Ceballos, Saka, Smith-Rowe, Pepe, and Aubameyang. Okay, I'll be honest. Mine's a little different to that. Um, And yes, we cannot afford to be complacent. Let's get into this now then. Let's get into the predicted lineups of the team that I think Arteta would play, and that I actually would like Arteta to play because do you know what it is? Obviously, it's been a difficult couple of weeks. Arteta showed his hand for me last week, and I wasn't surprised by the team he went with. Wilson, I did tell you that he would play on any. I know you didn't like it, but I told you he would play on any. But it shows you where he's at. It shows you what he wants. If you play El Neni against Man City, you're telling me that really and truly that ain't where your heart's at. You're looking at tonight's game as the big one. And fair enough, it didn't work. It could have worked, but it didn't work. Um, and we got the loss against Man City. So today he's gonna have to go back to his strongest 11 right now as he would see it. So yeah, man. We'll get into it. We'll get into the lineup. But I'm gonna go with the lineup I think he will play. But I'm probably in agreement that this is probably the best one as well. So it will be interesting to see whether he goes with anything similar to this. I'll be surprised if he goes far off this one. Of course, Bern Leno goes straight in the net. I mean, the man's been key for us over the past, well, this whole season really. No doubt about it. He will come in. There was question marks last week on Ryan starting in the first leg, but having started Leno in the first leg and we haven't won it comfortably, Leno starts definitely in this leg. At right back, I'm going to go with Bellerin. So I'm going to disagree with Wilson on that one. I know Cedric was rested in the last game and has been good. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cedric come in, but I feel like Bellerin is the man Arteta wants this season in his first 11. So I'm going to stick with Bellerin on the right side. And you know what? Was half decent in the first leg. Half decent in the first leg. So I'll go with Bellerin at right back. I'm going to go with David Luiz in the middle. At the right centre back, obviously we know that Rob Holding suffered from concussion last week, so wasn't available to play today. But hopefully should be back for Leicester on the weekend. So Louise goes right in. Obviously, this will be a big question mark because I think Mari had a decent game last week again against Man City. But for me, Gabriel, not Jesus. Where is he? My guy Gabriel will go straight into the back line with David Luiz. Thought he played very well against Benfica. A little bit surprised he didn't start against Man City, but I think he comes straight back in. I don't think he want to mess up here. Although, as I said, I did think Murray did quite well against City. I'm going to go with Tierney at left back. I think there's no doubt about it. I think everyone doing a predicted 11 today will have him in there. He was so key for us against City, even though he just come back from injury and he looked absolutely bucked out there on his last legs. But working hard for the team, getting back to full fitness, I think he starts today, no doubt about that. My left centre mid, I'm going to go with Granit Xhaka. Did Wilson? Did you have Xhaka in your 11? I don't think I saw you. I think you left him out. Um, yeah, you went Partey and Ceballos. Interesting. Yeah, for me, especially him doing the press conference last night, was interesting to hear what he thought about some of the fans. He wants to meet them up face to face. I think there's no doubt about it. I think he starts. I think it's right to start him as well. I think he's a good player. I think he'll be key to the way we play tonight. If he can play them good through balls in, I'm hoping you'll get maybe an assist tonight as well. And I'm gonna go here with Danny Ceballos. Now I know Thomas Partey's back. I know it. I know he's back. I heard it. He's in Athens. He's travelled with the squad. He's training now with the squad as they prepare for the start of the game. But we rushed him back before, and look what happened. I think we need to give him time. I think we need to give him time. You don't need to rush him. We'll I say we play Ceballos, and we see how he does with Xhaka in the middle. I know obviously Ceballos got the rest in against City, so I think he definitely comes in. I know Wilson had him above Xhaka, but for me, don't need to rush Partey. I don't think this is a game you have to rush a man back. If we can't beat Benfica without Partey, we do not deserve to be in the next leg. I'm sorry. So I think we just hold off Partey today. Hopefully, get him a run out, maybe last 30 minutes or so, especially with a 5-sub rule. I'm hoping that we do get to see him. I do want to see him tonight, but maybe just not from the start, or vice versa. You may start him for an hour and bring him off. But I think he starts on the bench tonight. In the number 10 position, I'm going to go with Erdegaard. Now, big game for Erdegaard. It could be today. If he does get the start, it'll be another start, which will be his Leeds, Benfica, Man City, full start in a row. Full start in a row for Odegaard if he does start today. So big chance to impress for him. Um, was decent against Man City, but we know that we now need the creativity from him in this game. It's going to be key. The man who is assured of starting this game is Bukayo Saka. Um, has to play for me. Absolutely has to play. The man has been key to our attacks. He's been key to the way we build our squad, and needed for sure in this starting lineup. So for me, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Bukayo Saka has to has to start in the squad. He's a good player, very good player. And yeah, it's going to be key to our attacks going forward. On the left hand side, Smith-Rowe has to play for me, has to come back in. Maybe in a number 10 position is his best position, and maybe he should play in a number 10. But I think Arteta will go with him there. Maybe a bit of a transition between him and Odegaard on the left hand side. There's an argument for him to play number 10 and Pepe to go on the left. Pepe was awful at right wing last week against Man City, so I don't think he'll play out there. But there's a chance he could play on the left and up top. I'm sorry to disappoint anyone who thought I was going to go any different with Lacazette. It's Pierre, no picture, Aubameyang up top for Arsenal. I think Aubameyang will start. I do. I think he needs to start in this game, and I'm expecting goals from him today as well. So yeah, we need him to score, but we'll just see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Right, so let me have a look at these comments on here. See what you look for of the team. Yes, Wilson, I've gone with Bellerin again up top. Yeah, I've gone with Bellerin up top. Big player for me. Sorry, at right back up top. At right back, I think Arteta likes him. I do think Arteta likes him personally. I think he wants him to play week in week out, as his number one right back. Is he the best? Maybe not. But listen, Cedric's not. Cedric's good, but I mean, if he didn't, I mean, he's not necessarily great. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, Wilson. Yeah, you didn't have Xhaka in your starting lineup. What Sharon's saying, to be honest, he's been better in Europa League than KDB has been. Don't know who you lot are talking about. Uh, if you're asking who's better about Bruno and KDB, it's KDB all day, in terms of quality. But Bruno has been producing this season. There's no doubt about it. MB says Bellerin isn't the same player that he once was. That serious injury affected him, and plus he wasn't always a liability defensively. Listen, I'm in no doubt about it, and I actually think we should sell him in the summer. I think it's time now for him to go. But whilst he's here, we need to get as much out of him as we possibly can before he goes. Maybe even get that price up a bit, and then sell him for a decent price in the summer. PSG were looking at him last year. Are they still interested? Obviously, Poch is there now, not Tuchel. So maybe if Tuchel wants a right wing back, you can have him, mate, Bellerin, and then we can hopefully look to sign someone who's better. I know there's talk about Max Aarons, but a lot of people are in for Max Aarons at the moment, so I don't know how easy that will be to get that deal done. But yeah, for me, Bellerin, Bellerin for sure is coming towards the end of his time at Arsenal, in my opinion. Anyway, Partey has to play in your opinion. Yeah, no, I hear that. And if Partey was fully fit, he does play. But we've been here before. We've seen Partey limp off so many times, and I just don't want to be in this position again, where Partey is here and where he's limping off the pitch again. I don't want to see it personally. Like, I'm just fed up with this constantly bringing him in, gets injured, and he limps off the pitch again. I want to see Partey come on, with half an hour to go, and I think that's all we need personally. To if we can win this game. Are Arsenal becoming too reliant on Saka? There's an argument. There's an argument for that for sure. Saka's a sick player though. You have to understand when these sick players come to the fro. Jan will tell you about Phil Foden. With Man City, they've got a massive squad, so Phil Foden doesn't have to play week in, week out, but you can see his quality. If Arsenal had a squad anywhere like Man City, Saka won't have to play week in, week out. But because the squad around him isn't as great, he starts to come to the fore a bit more. Now, he's a guaranteed starter, but I don't necessarily think we have to be reliant on him going forward. Have we been this season? Yeah, you could say so. But if Aubameyang's on form, last year we were saying Arsenal are nothing without Aubameyang. Now we're saying, are we too reliant on Saka? We just need to get everyone on form. Get Aubameyang on form. Get him Aubameyang, Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, Saka playing. You got Partey in there. You get a Xhaka in there. You've all of a sudden you've got a bit of a squad going. Now, arguably, Saka's been our best player this season, not for sure. There's no doubt about it, but does it mean we rely on him? I'm not quite sure that's the case. I'm not sure that's the case. But he's a sick player for sure. He's a sick player. MB said he would try Partey and Tobias more often, and he thinks he's got a potential to be a good, decent partnership. Uh, uh, um, Not for me. If I'm honest, I don't want to sign Tobias in the summer. I know you might be shocked to hear that, but for me, Tobias is a good player, and he carries the ball going forward a lot well. But I just don't want to pay 22 mil for him. Maybe we can get him for a lot cheaper, like maybe 10 mil, maybe. But I just don't think he's the guy for us going forward, unfortunately. I've seen him for 2 years now. He's been good, but he's not been someone that I would want to spend the money on. So to start work on a partnership that may not be here next year, yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. But if you want to try it to see if it works, I'm not bad at that. But I definitely wouldn't start that partnership, that new partnership tonight in the middle of the park. Definitely not tonight. Xhaka has to start for me. Yeah, of course we take Max Aarons, but I'm sure Everton will take him. Man United will probably take him. Bayern Munich are interested in him as well, so they could take him as well. So listen, he's going to be a sought after player, Max Aarons, but that's who I would want if we could get anyone. Um, we should go for Lamptey. Yeah, Lamptey could be available, but it all depends what happens with Brighton. If Brighton go down, I'd yam him up quick time, yam him up, and Basuma. Him and Basuma, I'd yam them up straight away. I wouldn't even be mad that they're at a relegated team. But if they stay up, there's a chance obviously they're going to stay a bit longer. Obviously, Lamptey's quite a new face there, so would he want to leave so soon? Could it do his career better to stay for one more year potentially? But yeah, if Arsenal are serious, a Lamptey deal wouldn't be too bad at all. Um, It'll be interesting. I've not heard a lot of people talk about strikers, but a striker option this summer it'll be something that I think we need to be looking at. It does need to be something we're looking at going forward. Um, Yeah, Shane says Saka is class, but he's still young. Exactly that. Um, where are we going as a partnership for the rest of the season? Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. But again, what are you looking to do? Build a relationship between Partey and Tobias and then sign him, or just send him back to Real Madrid? Could last for the rest of the season, but then what does that do for us going forward? And I know we've already got Odegaard, who we don't know is going to be here next year. Do we want to start building up partnerships that are not going to last for the long term? Um, Wilson says he believes that 10, 15 million for Tobias is reasonable. Yeah, yeah, maybe. There's definitely. I'm not paying more than 20 mil. I'm not paying more than 20 mil for Danny Tobias. I'm sorry. Real Madrid can have him back if they want him. Um, Max Aarons would be your perfect Wilson's perfect choice for Arsenal. He's brilliant going forward as well defensively. Yeah, from what I've seen of him last year, he's been good. But obviously, you need to think about the fact that Norwich are top of the league in the Championship. Now I know it's only the Championship, but when they come up, it puts his price up a bit. And so we need to be careful that, I know Neeks spoke about this earlier with Man United. For them, they've obviously got Wan-Bissaka, so he maybe even be a backup there. But you're going to be looking at probably the upper echelons of 40, 50 million, with the English price tag. And that could be a bit much. And Stan Kroenke already. So, yeah, it could be a bit much. You Arsenal fans think they can get Grealish. Listen, Grealish for me is my standout pick at a number 10 position if we were to get one. Of course, money no option, rivals no option. Yes, I'd love to have Grealish. Do I think we're gonna get him? Absolutely no chance. There's no chance he's coming from Aston Villa to Arsenal. Absolutely not. He's staying at Villa or he's going out, going up, going upwards. You could argue he's already upwards being at Villa. Villa may be a European team next year. We may not be. So there's absolutely no way I think we're getting Jack Grealish. Although I would love him. I would love him. MB says Wilson, would you take Buendia? I would personally. I like Buendia. I'd probably be looking at someone like Julian Brandt as well. And then there's obviously the Odegaard situation. What do we do with that? Also, they believe that Arsenal need a right back and a backup left back to cover Tierney, a midfielder for Partey, attacking midfielder, possibly a striker to replace Lacazette or Aubameyang. All those options are key for us this next year. So yeah, and there's even a yeah. I think you've covered probably most of the positions. There's talks about a potential centre back as well, but we'll see. There's a lot of deadwood to be taken out. But listen, that's me done for the lineup and for the team. Yeah. So to go through that team again, it is Leno in goal. It's Bellerin at right back, Luiz centre back, Gabriel centre back with Luiz, Tierney left back, Ceballos and Xhaka in the middle, Erdegaard in the number 10, Saka on the right, Smith-Rowe on the left, and Aubameyang up top. And I'm gonna go with a 1-0 win to the Arsenal. Old school, get the job done and go home. Aubameyang with a goal, I'm hoping for. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be pretty tonight. I think it will be a job done situation. Wilson's going for 3-1 to Arsenal. I don't want to even concede a goal. I'm sorry, I want a clean sheet tonight, minimum. Clean sheet minimum. But yeah, it's this time 6:35. Team news. Is the team out yet? This could be a Neeks Sports first if the team's out. Uh, don't think it's out yet, but it'll be out in about 20 minutes or so. So it'll be interesting to see. Kickoff is at 5:55. So it will be big game, obviously today for us. Hoping for the 3 points, begging for the 3 points. Come on, the Arsenal. Let's get the win. 3 points I'm talking about, Europa League team, no 3 points. I'm hoping to go through. Let's get the win. If it's 1-0, if it's 3-1, I don't mind. Let's just get the win, and get out of this last 32 stage. Guys, thanks for joining. We'll be back at about 8:45 tonight with hopefully a happy review. If we are at the competition, for me, the season is done. Thank you, and see you guys later.